Hi All-Stars, it's Miss Curtis. I hope you guys are doing fabulous. So for today, we're going to get into some math stuff. Now, I know math can be kind of difficult and kind of hard, but luckily for us, there's been lots of tips, tricks, and rules created to help us really get through it a little more seamlessly. Today, we're going to go over divisibility rules. This is going to be a two-part video. Today, we're going to go over 4 different rules, and then next week, we will go over 4 other rules. So, before we get started, I want to make sure you guys understand some of the terms associated with divisibility, so let's get right into it. The word divisibility refers to a number's quality of being evenly divided without a remainder. It is important that it does not have a remainder to follow these rules. Now, the word dividend, our second term, this is the number that is to be divided. In the equation 32 divided by 8 equals 4, the number 32 is the dividend. Our last term we're going to go over today is divisor. Now, the divisor is the number that the dividend is dividing. So, in the equation 32 divided by 8 equals 4, the number 8 is the divisor. So, let's get right into it by starting with the number 2. We're going to go over the rules to see if a number is able to be divided by 2. So, regardless of how big or small this number is, all we need to do is look at the digit in the ones place. Now, we know in any number, the digit on the far right-hand side or to the digit on the immediate left-hand side of the decimal is in the ones place. So, in the number 24, we will look at the number 4, which is in the ones place. If 4 is, in fact, divisible by 2 without a remainder, and it goes in evenly, we know the number 24 is divisible by 2. Let's try and find out. 4 and 2. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. That equals our problem out. So we know that the number 4 is, in fact, divisible by 2. Let's try it with a different number and see if we can get the same results. Let's try 996. That looks like a kind of a big number. All we have to do is look at the number in the ones place again. Now, the number in the ones place is a 6. Let's go ahead and do some division and see if the number 6 is in fact divisible by 2 with no remainders. So 6 divided by 2. 2 goes into 6 evenly 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. We're going to subtract these numbers. It's going to square our problem off, and our answer is 3. We have no remainders, so the number 996 is in fact divisible by 2. That's how the rule for the number 2 works. This can be kind of helpful because regardless whether it is a huge number into the millions, trillions, you can still find out if it's divisible by 2 very quickly without really having to do much work. All you have to do is look at the number in the ones place. Now, we have the number 3 we're going to move on to. Now, the number 3 is kind of the same. It's helpful, but it's a little tricky. You just have to remember something. If a number is divisible by 3, the sum of all the numbers will also be divisible by 3 without any remainders. So, let me get into that. That way you guys understand. So, 3. Now, let's say our number is 522. 522. Now, we could simply just go 522 divided by 3 and do all that work, right? But what if we needed to do it quickly in our head? So, like I said, what we have to do is the sum of all the numbers. So, remember, the sum means everything added together. So, 5 plus 2 plus 2 equals 9. Now, do we think that the number 9 is in fact divisible by 3 with no remainders? Let's find out. 9 divided by 3. 3 goes into 9 evenly 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 minus 9 is 0. It finishes our problem out, and our answer is 3. This number, 522, is in fact divisible by 3. And we found that out, remember, just by adding all of the numbers together. So let's try it again. 219. So let's go 2 plus 1 plus 9. We know that 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 9 is 12. So, is 12 divisible by 3 with no remainders? 3 doesn't go into 1, so we're going to put a 0 here. 3 goes into 12. 3, 6, 9, 12, 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. It leaves us with a 0, so that's the end of our problem. This number, 219, is in fact divisible by 3. We found that out by adding all of the numbers together in the quotient, and when we went through and found it, it in fact is divisible by 3. So it follows the rule. Pretty interesting, right? These are tricks that can help you really for the rest of your life through college. If you decide to go on, it'll be really helpful. So let's go into our third number, which is the number 4. So to find out if a number is divisible by 4, all we have to do is take the sum of the last two numbers in the number. So for instance, if the number is 2,540, to find out if this number is divisible by 4, what we do is we take the last two numbers, find the sum of them, which is 4 plus 0 equals 4. And if this number is divisible by this evenly with no remainders, it is in fact divisible by that number, and it follows the rule. So 2,540, because the last two numbers, 4 plus 0 equal 4, is evenly divided by 4. That one works. Let's try a different number. Let's try 6,944. So what we do is we take these last two numbers, we find the sum of them, 4 plus 4 equals 8, and we find out, is this number divisible by 4 with no remainders? 8 divided by 4. 4 goes into 8 equally twice. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 minus 8 is 0. That finishes out our problem. The number 6,944 is in fact divisible by 4. Look how simple that was to find out. It was very quick, in fact, too. So, let's move on to our last one today. Our last one is going to be the number 5. 5 is fairly simple. You really don't have to do any math. All you have to do is look at the number in the ones place. And remember, again, the ones place is the number on the far right-hand side of the problem or on the immediate left of the decimal point. So, in the number 6,440, we need to look at the number in the ones place. If the number in the ones place is a 5 or a 0, the number will always be divisible by 5. Always. So, in this number, 6,440, we know that the last number is a 0, so it falls under the rule of whether or not if the number is divisible by 5. Let's look at a different number. 255. We're going to look at the number in the ones place. The number in the ones place is a 5 or a 0, so this number we automatically know will be divisible by 5. Again, whether it's a 5 or a 0, as long as it's in the ones place, the number will be divisible by 5. So, hopefully that helped you guys out a little bit. Next week, we're going to be going over 4 more divisibility rules. We are going to be going over the number 6, the number 9, the number 10, and the number 12. My personal favorite is number 9s. I hope you guys comment in the video what your favorite one was out of 2, 3, 4, and 5. Leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thanks for your time, guys. See you later.